Okay guys, so I gave you guys two choice of which bike check you guys want me to do. The first one was the pink visual. That thing right there, to be honest with you guys, I really thought a lot of you guys were gonna pick that because that bike is so unique. It's super rare. But I'm here for you guys, not for myself. And a lot of you guys request to do a bike check on this 2004 S&M Black Bike. Soak it up, guys. Soak it up. Soak it up. So some of you guys might be like, oh my God, this thing is sweet. Some of you guys might be like, it's okay. But what you guys don't understand is, despite all these little nicks, some of these little scratch, guys, this bike is actually NOS. Now, if you guys don't know what that means, it's new, old stock. Okay, you know what? For that smart ass guy, wait, it's not new, Phu. Oh, you know it's not new because, you know, you put it together. You know what? It's new, even though we put it together. And we're like, wait, why is it? Well, the gentleman that brought this to us, to had us assemble it for him, story has it that in around 2005, went out, bought the frame from S&M, went to gather all the parts from various mail orders and shop. I think he said he bought these bars from us too. And life caught up with him and he never actually put it together. So this whole bike was actually in his garage, brand new. So this bike has never been ridden, guys. That is what is so unique. And a lot of these survivors that you see are always stories like that. So let's start out. First of all, look at this. Even though the sticker is peeling, this is the Beringer Lite. You guys aren't familiar. Beringer is Matt Beringer. Matt Beringer, to me, Hall of Famer. Old school rider that rode for S&M back in the days. The S&M Beringer bar was probably one of our top selling bars. Then they came out with the Beringer Lite, where they used thinner tubings. And these things killed it. Yeah. Yes, guys, I think these bars are probably, what, 6.5?
7.
Yeah. Next is, look at this, guys. Look at this stem. Some of you guys right now are probably just, you guys are probably just foaming by the mouth. And some of you guys might be like, what? This is the Odyssey Elementary stem. Now, you guys are gonna think, wait, how is this tightened? Now, somebody chime in and tell me who actually designed the elementary stem. All I know is that Odyssey has a patent on it, but I actually don't know who designed it.
Jim Bauer.
Did Jim Bauer actually designed it? Sure.
He used to come to Hollywood Sports Park, and he had a box around it. And it's this new stem that we're working on, and he's been working on it for years. I remember that.
He designed it. I think he says he worked for them. He kind of helped, but I don't think he was a mastermind.
Somebody will tell us.
Somebody tell us. And I could be wrong. If it is you, Jim, I'm really sorry. But, so let me show you guys how this is tightened. So this whole piece right here, when all this right here is out, all this is just a loop, a piece of aluminum that's looped around. The bar slides into it first. Then the whole stem comes down on the head tube, on the steer tube. And this little wedge system right here, when you tighten it, what it does, it compresses two wedge system, and when the wedge system compresses in, it pushes this little piece right here and this little gyro piece right here outward, and it squeezes the steer tube and the bar, and that's what tightens it. Now, even though this is a very, very cool design, very ingenious design, there was problems with it, because when you tighten this, you don't know what's gonna give first, the bar or the steer tube. And one or the other would give, because every time you tighten, this thing is still loose, you tighten it, still loose, tighten it. Next thing you know, it kind of rips through the bars. So that was the problem with this. And that's why during that generation, there was a lot of these kind of stem that everybody came out with. Kink had it, S&M play around with it. A bunch of people play around with it. But to be honest with you guys, even though this is faulty like that, I still love this design. As a matter of fact, I am looking for one of these. So any of you guys have one, holla at me, okay? I want to buy it because it's gonna be so cool for my collection of unique parts. Okay, I think I kind of killed that whole thing on it. Now let's move on. The Odyssey Fork. Back then, nowadays they have the F series, the F32. No, I mean
R.
the R series, R32, R25, the F15. But then it should be an R15, but they call it F15 because it's the ship. Back in the days, the fork itself had the street fork and the race forks. But of course, everybody started using the race fork because it's lighter. So now that's why they're all called R series. But these were the street forks back then. And you could tell because the dropout was thicker, whereas the race fork, it was thinner. Actually, now that I said that, these are actually probably the race ones. Now, next thing you look at is you guys look at the hub. You guys might not be familiar with that because this brand it's still around. It's just not as mainstream. It's premium. Premium is more of the street brand that is sister company to Haro. Now, if you guys look at this, what the hell is going on there? Whoever laced this up, laced it up wrong. No, actually, if some of you old school guys are watching, you guys see, wait a second, that looks like the GT Super Lace hub. Yes, look at how it is drilled, staggered. It was drilled on purpose doing that. And the reason why it was laced like this is if you guys are grinding, the spokes are not gonna get as damaged and it won't break. That was basically the concept. Now for the GT Super Lace, I think they just did that because it's cool, but somebody out there go, you know what, actually that's really cool. I actually get requests for people for me to lace up like that so they could do it. But not having it staggered makes it a little bit hard. So this hub right here is very unique. I tried to look up on some information on it so I could tell you guys about it and I could not find anything. That's how rare this hub is. The matching rear hub, the premium Stinger. This is the first version. It's not the one that a lot of you guys see where it kind of buzzes a lot. This is the very first one. So nothing fancy, it was just there. It makes a complete set. The Alex Super E Lite. Guys, the Super E was the staple of a lot of the mid-school guys. But it was so heavy. When it came out, the Lite, oh my, everybody ate it up. Everybody ate it. So this was a very, very cool rim. Of course, profile, classic, profile Imperial. Now, the seat post is a KHE, basic KHE. If you look at the gut system, nothing fancy, just basic, but it is pretty cool mid-school. It's not pivotal, this is before the pivotal. Now, the gentleman, when he came in, he didn't have a seat, so he bought this from us. What he really wanted was he wanted the big S&M sofa seat with all the print on to complete it, but he never got it. So he came in for the seat, he came in for the chain and the assembly. He's on some Evo. Nothing crazy about that, but he's got on there. But look at this also, guys, the S&M 101 pedals. You guys are like, oh, okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. It's pretty mid-school. You know, no, guys, it's the steel bearing one. I have not seen the steel bearing 101, especially in the white, for a long, long time. So that was actually pretty cool. This bike here was pretty much the cream of the crop during 2005. So this guy right here was balling. The lever, yeah, that's right. The lever he got from us too, because he actually said he lost the Tech 7 77 lever. But that Tech 77 will be very, very correct. Premium tires, look at this, guys. Remember I told you, this thing has never been ridden. Brand new. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about this thing? Come on, some of you guys out there are going to go, oh my God. But yeah, believe it or not, this thing has never been ridden. This is actually the first time this bike has been complete and touching the ground. Other than that, it has been in his garage in the storage. This thing is so rad. You guys might think, why is Phu tripping on it? Because it's brand new. This is almost like one of you guys seeing a 1987 GT Performer, brand new, just came out of the box and built. This is the way I'm looking at it. So, last but not least, it's the S&M Black Bike. So the Black Bike was introduced by S&M in 2004. This is when the first time S&M started using air-hardened chromoly tubing. Now, a lot of you guys are probably thinking, oh, well, what? You know what? There's a lot of different type of chromoly. There's air-hardened, there's heat-treat, there is, you know, out the woods, the standard use ox tubings and all that. But S&M, they went with the air hardened. It was their own thing, and that's where they came with the bike. I think the Black Bike, they just couldn't come up with a name. They just came up with something simple. I myself have one of these. I still have my Black Bike frame hanging in there. They had three different head badges. This was just one of it. It was very controversial. I don't think nowadays, I don't think we could get away with this. There was another one. Here's a real funny story. One of the head tube badge was a nun. Was a picture of a nun squatting and holding a leg. And there was a kid that came in, he wanted to buy it, and the dad was furious. Dad saw, what's this, a joke? What storm out. Didn't want anything to do with it. So yeah, the Black Bike was pretty crazy. It was classic S&M, always stirring things up. This was pretty much, if you guys look at some of the features, wishbone, chainstay joints, slightly smaller dropout than the dirt bike or the next gen. So in essence, it was a more refined version of the next gen. This was actually the stepping stone to whatever the bike you see now. Another thing, guys, this was pretty much the last of the S&M that is not a race bike that we saw a European bottom bracket. Imagine that, a European bottom bracket on a street bike. The reason why they stopped doing that is because a lot of you guys are out there grinding, doing stuff, and you guys constantly hit it. If you're hitting this part, you cannot remove this anymore because it gets so beat up. It gets so beat up and you can't take it out. So they decide shortly after that, we're gonna ditch this, and that's where I introduced the mid. So this is right here a very, very, in my opinion, a very pinnacle frame because it changed a lot. And it also proven stuff works and stuff doesn't. So you guys comment in. Was there something I missed? Was there something I said that was inaccurate that you guys want to chime in and help? Because guys, again, I'm making this with the best knowledge of mine and to educate some of you guys, but some of you guys that comment in, you guys are equally as important. You guys correct me on some of the stuff to educate some of the other ones. So if anything I'm missing on here, please chime in. Because some of the other guys will appreciate it. You guys like, dislike, I like those middle finger guys. Subscribe, and till next time, thank you very much, guys.